So I'm here with Bo and Tim from MADE, and just going to ask them a few little questions about the show. And I wanted to get your guys' ideas on what you guys think characterize Northwest modern art and design.
You want to take this one?
Yeah, I was hoping you would.
What do you got?
I think that really the people are what dictate the design taste around here. And I think what I see in Portland is that people are really down to earth. They're very pragmatic. They're very straightforward. What you see is what you get. And so I think the things that they tend to like are the things that reflect themselves. So I see a lot of natural materials. I see a lot of straightforward design. I don't see many things that are really, fussy over the top. I think people just like furniture and design that they can just feel comfortable being around and not intimidated by it.
Cool. So there's definitely a material sensibility that you guys see in a lot of the design.
Yeah, definitely. I think Portlanders aren't afraid to touch things, when they see something. And so I think material is really important to them. And with the surroundings and the nature, woods, just keeping them natural, that's something that I think people are really drawn to. There's also a really strong local vibe around here. People love it when they see something that's made from local oak or local clear vertical grain fir. Environmentally, I think they're really into things if you can find a reclaimed source for some of your products too. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, we live in such a beautiful place. I think that's what a lot of people what draws them here and what makes them stay here. And so what Bo's talking about with those materials, wanting to incorporate things from this environment, I think there's a good connection there.
Cool. I guess you guys in a way have answered my second question, but maybe you can elaborate.
I knew that was something.
You guys anticipated it. What do you guys think are some of the things that shape regional ideas on art and design? I mean, you guys discussed a little bit materiality, but what are some of the other things you might think shape regional ideas on art and design?
Well, strangely, I would probably say one thing that does it is the fact that nobody's actually from Portland. Everyone I know, just about 90% of everyone I know in Portland moved here within the last 15, 20 years or something like that. And they bring with them the influence and the design influences that they grew up with and saw. So, I think that just this huge melting pot of people coming from all over the country feeling free to chip in their design sense and mix it with what they see when they get here really lends itself to a lot of diversity in the design world here.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that Portland really has a specific design sensibility, and maybe that's what...
or how about the region? Maybe not specifically Portland, but what do you think is a regional? And I think there are some influences, like you said, the environment, the local, the natural setting is really influential, it seems, materially, for example. What do you think regionally maybe are some of those things that you see as influences?
I always kind of feel like, I just keep seeing the use of local materials again.
Yeah.
And it's not even just the use of them, but maybe how they're treated, like steel and fir, almost more specific to Seattle than Portland, I'd say. Like when I go up to Seattle, I get a real regional design vibe, and it kind of reminds me of like boat building or something. There's always these huge beam elements to things, and then that's sort of strapped with steel. So sort of the way you see maybe big warehouses or big shipyards being constructed back in the olden days.
Kind of like the timber, lumber, steel.
The down of history, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so, and I think...
timber, lumber history. Yeah.
Vertical grain fir is just like the Northwest standard.
Quintessential material.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that's come through a function of, its service to the industry and just being useful and being ever present, So.
Cool. And my last question to you guys is, how do you think your work is influenced by some of these kind of regional influences or ideas? How have you guys been influenced since you've come here, and how do you think some of those influences show in your work?
Well, I think going back to the material, we do use a lot of local materials in our work, and trying to find that line between keeping things simple, but also letting the materials, you know, have a little bit of a voice as well.
Interesting. Yep. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Definitely I like, you know, I think just the quietness of Portland, you know, and the quietness of the people and the earnestness, and, you know, just, again, not designing for over the top, for shock value. You know, it's really about, okay, people, we're all, you know, here just to relax and be comfortable. So yeah, so make things you want to live with 24/7, you know, and that serve the function well. I think that's sort of what I've gathered since I've been in Portland.
How long have you guys lived and worked in Portland?
15 years now.
Yeah, 94. We actually showed up in the same year, and we were both, maybe I was here like a year or two before you, but we were both going to Oregon College of Art and Craft. That's right. So yeah, 94.
So you guys know that after you've been here 14 years, you're considered native.
A
native plant.
Really? Is that right?
I don't know. I'm just joking.
I consider myself native now. So.
Yeah, I still consider myself a Southerner, and I think every winter proves that point.
That's really funny. Well, I feel sorry for you. But, well, thank you guys.